Hello guys, good morning. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Okay, so my name is Diana from Kada Technology. So we are the sole distributor of Hitachi products in Malaysia. Okay, so for the Hitachi product, we carry a lot of range, okay, from UV-Vis, AES, HPLC, AAA. So today we're gonna talk about two of our models from UV-Vis range, which is the U5100, the ratio beam, and also UH5300, the double beam. So this is our seminar looks like today. So U5100 is on the left side, which is the ratio beam, and the UH53 is the double beam. Okay. So this is myself. My name is Liana. Okay. So I'm with Akali Technology. So we are the sole distributor of Hitachi products and also other range. You can check out our website for more info. So here are the contents we're going to talk about. First is the basic theory, and then the ratio and the double beam, and also we're going to finish off with a Q&A if you guys have any questions. So let's go ahead with the basic theory. So this is how it looks like. Okay, the spectrophotometer principle over here. So the comparison with human view. So as you know, it's us as a human, the sun actually emits the light. Okay, it goes through a white light because all the spectrum is in there, and then it will hit your sample. So you actually have a compound of interest in there. And then after that, it will absorb some of the lights and then transmit the rest of the lights where our vision is. All right, so we can see that part of light. So over here, what we lack is actually the quantitative data, right? So we don't know how much it's been absorbed, how much it's been transmitted. We don't know. So then we actually come up with a spectrometer, correct? So with the lab source, we actually have a white light with the grading it will disperse according to their wavelength. And then we will be selecting a monochromatic light, which actually will be hitting our sample. Okay, so in the sample, we actually have our compound of interest, right? And then after that, some of the compound usually absorb the light, and then the balance will be transmitted out where the detector will be detecting it and then converting it into the data. So this is how it looks like. So this one is already explained just now. So let's have a look at it down here. So for here, with the maximum absorption of light, is going through these high concentrated samples, right? Whereas the low absorption of light is going through the low concentration samples. So from there, you can see that, okay, so it will, so some of the light, when they have a high concentration of the compound of interest, will absorb more light, hence it will absorb more. So here, the transmittance is actually less because that's actually the relationship, right? It's more absorbance, less transmittance. So it is possible to maintain concentration samples after the interaction with light. So applications fields of UV spectrometers, we can actually do in a lot of areas such as the food, beverages, cosmetics, pharmaceutical, the environment, and also the polymers. Okay. So these are the lineup of Hitachi Spectrophotometers. So Hitachi is actually from Japan, 100% made in Japan. All right, so we actually come up with the basic models. The most basic is not a single beam. It's actually starting from the ratio beam. And from the ratio beam, we also have a double beam. And then we actually have for the liquid sample and dedicated for more towards the solid sample. So over here, for UV-Vis, it starts with the ultraviolet range and the visible range. Okay, so here is the model U5100 we're going to talk about today, which is the ratio beam. So this is how it looks like. And then the liquid sample also. So we have for the UH5300, which is a double beam. So over here is a UV range as well. So the double beam has a slit of 1.5 nanometer. And onto the solid sample, we also have a two range here. So we have a U3900, it's a double beam. We have a variable slit for this. And also UH5150 is actually, as you can see from here, there's a vacuum ultraviolet range a little bit here until here, which is the NR. So it is what we call the UV-Vis NR range, okay? So today we're going to talk more about this too. So let's jump straight into U5100 ratio beam UV-Vis, okay? So over here, this is how it looks like. It's a very eco beauty. So it's a standalone models where you can only use it on your own. So the ecology, design, performance, easy operation, let's jump straight back to it. So this is the feature, the performance. So right now in the market, we actually have three variants of the UV-Vis, right? You have the single beam, you have the ratio beam, and also you have the double beam. So for us, we are not, we have started with the ratio beam straight away. So what's the difference is that, so single beam optics, you can see if from the light source, you go to the grading, and after that, you will will only emit one light. You go to the sample and straight to your detector, okay? And then for this one, you have a xenon flash lamp. That's what we're using. So later I'm going to talk more about the xenon flash lamp, right? You're going to go to the grading and then go to the mirror where it's actually split into your sample and has the monitor side detector. So this detector is actually monitoring the background, and so it will go through the sample or your reference at once. So what does it mean is that every time that you put your sample or the reference, you will always have a background checking simultaneously, so that it will actually check and deduct, so you give more accuracy. So over here, in terms of the baseline comparison, so the single beam has a lot of noise, obviously, because it doesn't have a magnetic side detector. So it actually help with the baseline stability. But over here, ratio beam, it has it, right? So the observance right here, okay? And then here, HITACHI U5100 Key Feature. So we have a Xenon Lamp. So this is one of our best selling points, all right? So there's a lot of market players out there that are still using the tungsten D2, but for us, we have started to use it Xenon Lamp. So it has a typical 10 years shelf life, so you can actually save costs. So in Malaysia, usually, typically, if you have a very frequent usage of the spectrometer, so every 1 year, you need to actually change the lamp, right? So it costs tungsten D2 with the engineer coming, so it costs from 2,500 to 5,000 ringgit, depends on your location and all. So just imagine like simple calculations, in 1 year you need to change for 5,000 ringgit. So if you were to actually do it for 10 years down the road, okay? So because our Xenon lamp can use for 10 years, so if you want to change every month of the Xenon tungsten D2 that you currently use, so we're going to give you 50,000 down the road, right? So, but here, no. You can still use Xenon lamp for a typical shelf life of 10 years. And then second is the built-in automatic 6-cell turret, okay? So you can actually have this by default. So it's a good news for you, for your students, or if you're a master student, PhD student, or you are in a R&D center or all this, so you can actually have this handy. So what it means is that you can put one reference cell with the 5 samples. So you put in there, okay, and it will take, you know, like 1 minute, so you can draw your calibration curve straight away. So that saves a lot of headache, a lot of time, a lot of washing, all these things. We can also provide you with all the 6 cuvettes together, so it's easy for you to handle. And also 3, we have a high wavelength drive speed of 12,000 nanometers per minute. So this means that you have a short analysis time. So what it does is that you can actually run very fast, so you can have a safe analysis time, also electricity. So we go for eco, so that's why it's eco-friendly. Okay, and so over here, maybe some of you are like actually like asking, so how are we going to set it? So don't worry, so everything can be set from the system. I'm going to show you through the video later. So over here, it's sample cell number. So we have a sample 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have sample, and so we have a blank or your reference. Okay. So over here, you have a good design. So it's a standalone, so we can use only without PC printer. But if you want, you can actually cater for that. So here we have a front power switch, and over here, this is how the display looks like. So this is our introduction video, okay? So let's have a look.
Good day, greeting from KDA Technology. My name is Jasper, and today I'm going to introduce you our HITACHI U5100 ratio beam UV-Vis Spectrophotometer. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the external features of this instrument. First of all, this instrument is very simple to use as it is a standalone unit. As what you can see here, it has a large display screen and it can be controlled by keypad. So this instrument is also using long life xenon flash lamp instead of conventional tungsten and deuterium lamp as a light source. So the reason why we are using long life xenon flash lamp is because it is very long lasting. Normally it can last for at least 10 years. So a lot of customers will benefit from this feature as they are not required to change the lamp periodically like what they used to do. So now we are going to have a look at a sample compartment. So this instrument comes with the automatic 6-cell turret as the standard accessory. It means we can measure multiple standards and sample at once. So most of our customers like this feature very much because it helps them to save a lot of time. Apart from that, there are some accessories available for this instrument. including long pulse cell holder, auto sipper, single cell holder, and etc. So inside the sample compartment, you can see there is a small hole. When you are having chemical spillage in the sample compartment, you can drain the chemicals using this small hole, and the chemical will be flushed underneath the instruments. Okay, so this is basically a very general introduction of our Hitachi U5100 ratio beam UV-Vis spectrophotometer. So for more details, you can check out our website at www.kalia.com.my or drop us an email at
Okay, right now we're going to go to the software functions.
Good day, greeting from Kalia Technology. My name is Jasper, and today I'm going to introduce you the software function of our Hitachi U5100 ratio beam UV-Vis spectrophotometer. As what you can see here, we have 8 major functions, and I'm going to show you one by one. First, we go to photometry mode. In this mode, you are able to set to these 4 data modes, including concentrations, absorbance, transmitters, and DNA. So when you are planning to find the concentration of unknown samples, you can choose the concentration mode. Because it's actually a pre-programmed method whereby you need to establish your standard calibration curve by measuring 3 to 5 standard solutions. Once the standard calibration curve is established, you can then measure your sample. And the instrument will tell you your sample concentration based on your standard calibration curve. If you only want to measure absorbance and transmittance value, you can choose second or third data mode, because these are direction measurement mode. So the last one is DNA mode. In this mode, the absorbance of a nucleic acid sample is measured. Then the purity and concentration of nucleic acid, protein concentration, and etc. are computed from the absorbance ratio. So this measurement mode is very good for the end user who is doing a biological research. Okay, so now we go back to main menu. The following measurement mode is wavelength scan. In this mode, end user can find out the absorption and transmission spectrum of their samples. So you can set your start wavelength and end wavelength here. Okay. The next measurement mode is time scan. So this mode is very good for the end user who is doing kinetic study, because they can fix the scan time and the target wavelength so that they can study the changes of sample absorbance or transmittance throughout the time. Apart from that, end user can actually save their method and data, and those files can be retrieved from method menu and data menu, which is number 4 and number 5. So the following function is system setup. In this function, end user can perform wavelength calibration. Lamp usage also can be checked from here. If it reaches 100%, it means the end user is required to change the lamp. So you can also set the date, the time, the printer, and the language here. Okay. So the next function is performance. So in this function, end user can conduct a performance check for the instrument every month to ensure the instrument is in good condition. So you can check the wavelength accuracy, wavelength repeatability, noise level, baseline flatness, baseline stability, and also hardware. So if your instrument is working fine, it will give you an indication of okay. If something goes wrong, it will show you an NG signal. The last function is data display. Basically in this mode, the Xenon Lamp is constantly on, and the photometric value is updated at the interval of 2 seconds, and it's displayed. It's very useful for the end user when they want to check the real-time photometric value of one wavelength. Okay, so that's all for my software introduction. For more details, you can check out our website at www.klia.com.my or
Okay, so that's our introduction. Okay, you have seen the U5100 introduction. So this is the accessories that comes with it. Okay, so you can see that we have the auto zipper, single cell holder, rectangular long pass cell holder, and also ultra micro volume sample measurement to cater any of your application. Okay. So, and also it has an easy operation where you can easily validate your results, okay, accuracy. So automatic validation. So sometimes in once a month, you really wanna check if there is what's your performance. You know, you're gonna do a performance check, and also you can check on the accuracy. So the software, we're actually using UV Solutions program. So this is a standalone model, but in case, in the event that you want to have a PC that can actually want to connect with it, we can have it. So we have a software for that. And also for the external output program, also we have measured data can be saved in PC and also in the Excel format. So let's go a very quick application, the U5100. So over here, we actually have analysis of the vitamin C in the drink. So you can see that we use this such and such scan speed, the slate, you know, so we can actually key in into the data. So over here, you can see that we actually use, first of all, definitely you need to do the calibration curve of this vitamin C. So over here, you have your, you know, standard where you have a 2, 4, and 6 concentration. So you just check in there, and then you draw the calibration curve. You have a very good R-squared here. So after that, you are checking your recovery test for this vitamin C. So here you have 1.1 milligram per liter. So after that, you know that you're actually putting the 2 milligram per liter of the concentration in there. So now the number is raising up to 3.05 after you check with using our system. And so the recovery rate is around 97.6, which is the perfect recovery. It's really high, okay? And then you can check the concentration, of course. For example, over here, it is a total phosphorus in water. So over here, you can see that you just key in the SU range, you know, the SU range is around here. So the speed 5 nanometer, wavelength 700 nanometer. So first, of course, you need to do your calibration curve so that you know that how much is concentration go against that. So for the total phosphorus, so now the absorbance is 0.07. So then you go against the calibration curve and you can get the results of the concentration in 0.35 over here. So that's like over here to here, right? Okay. And then moving on to the auto zipper function. So in case if you really want to reduce the measurement time, you can actually use our we can actually use our auto zipper. So over here also, so this is the analysis of food rate number 105. Okay, so you're using the scan speed of this slate, measure wavelength, key and everything in the system. So then you have a calibration curve of food dye rate number 105. So you have all the concentration to actually form this calibration curve. So 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. So you put it in here. So you have a R squared is really near 1, which is really good already. And then you can just use auto zipper. So auto zipper is really simple. You need to wash any of the cuvettes and to use the cuvette, you can just draw your sample straight away from its source, like in the beaker or wherever the source is. And so it will actually flow through the spectrometer where it will be detected on the concentration. Okay, so the analysis by the auto zipper is as speedy as by the 6 cell terabyte. So when 20 samples are analyzed by the 6 cell terabyte disposable cell, so meaning it's really fast. So, and then we also have application for DNA analysis for those that actually want to do DNA concentration testing. So over here, we actually have a function DNA that you have seen in the video before. So the wavelength is set to 260 nanometers and 280 nanometers. So then whenever you have a purity more than 1.8 or higher than that, that's actually you and you get a very pure DNA concentration. And with that, we actually have an ultra microvolume sample measurement where we have 3 sample cell holders. So with 1.5, 12, and 50, depends on how precious your samples are. So you can actually choose based on your requirement and application. Okay, and also we have a path length 1, 5, and 10. Okay, so this is how it looks like. And again, so this is how you use it. So of course, you need to build up your calibration curve first with, you know, with your standards. So here you get a lot of standards, okay? And then you build up the concentration, and from there we can actually using the function of DNA, you can also like testing the concentration of your DNA sample. And then let's go and moving on to our double beam UV-Vis, right? So just a quick recap, U51, what's so special about it are two things. Okay, the first one is using the Xenon flash lamp, so you can actually use for 10 years. And second is using the 6L turret, okay? And it's using a ratio beam optical, so it's more accurate than compared to a single beam. So let's check out what a double beam has to offer. Okay, so this is our slide for the UH5300 double beam spectrophotometer by Hitachi. So it has a new optical design with highest class specs all over the world. And also we have excellent operability with iPad or PC Windows 7. So this is how it looks like with the feature of optical design. So over here, compared to the single, ratio, and double beam has slightly more accuracy compared to the ratio beam. This is because of here. So have a look on the right side, the reference and sample. So when the light beams through the reference and sample and detector, they are actually doing it simultaneously. This means whenever you do your sample, it goes always detect with the reference, and then it will give you the highest accuracy possible. Okay. So over here in this one, so we're using the Xenon flash lamp as well. Okay, so with regards with the Xenon flash lamp, okay, so the Xenon will only be flashed whenever we need to do the testing. So it's not compared to the tungsten P2, right? So always beam up. So as long as you actually want to use the system, you always, you know, if you use the tungsten P2, you need to make sure you need to have a warm up time. You need to make sure you warm up first, and after that, it will just, even you're not doing the testing in that moment, we'll just get the beam through, you know, so that's how actually can finish off the lamp the lamp hours. Okay, so for the Xenon lamp, it's actually flashing. So whenever you want to test, you click the test and then only it will flash and the light will just go through, and then that's it. All right. So then Hitachi is the only one in the world that is very confident with the product, and they give you guys a 7 years warranty on this. Okay. All right. So let's have a look. So the Xenon flash lamp actually will be flashing, and then it will go through the monochromator, where then you will be selecting obviously one of your monochromator lights, and it will go through, and then the light will be bouncing, and then it will split into simultaneously reading by the detector towards your reference and also sample. Okay, and then it also has, similar like the U5100 just now, it has an auto 6L turret. So we call this a turret, also a changer, as a standard equipment. So then you can actually save a lot of time. It's really fast. Within 1 minute, you can get your calibration curve ready. Okay, and then most of the specs are better than all these Xenon flash spectrometer. Okay. All right, so in terms of operability with iPad or PC, so we can actually do either iPad, you can choose whether in a PC. So most of the people, like for example, in the setting of like factory, for example, they really want to monitor in a long distance, you can just take their PC and then put it there, or you can just walk towards somewhere, so you can actually operate elsewhere. Also, you can use a PC, printer with a wire or router. And so for this, we can actually have a touch screen. So it's really easy for you. As you can see up here, you can pinch in and out, you can touch, you can flick, you know, using your fingertips. Okay, we're going to share with you how we're going to do it in a video later. All right. And then this is how the visual icons is, or really, you know, user-friendly. You straight away, you know, like for example, today I'm going to do concentration. You just got to click on that concentration icon. So we have measurement of concentration, the wavelength scan, the DNA again, the absolute transmittance, the time scan. All right. So, and also, the good thing about this is it becomes possible to search and parse data by various terms. So at least one term is required. So over here, you can just push and search the starts, okay? And search starts, all right. So you can do from sample name, elements name, username, and from the date, for example, what date that you're actually doing it. So you can actually trace, and all the data can come out for that. Okay, let's, without further ado, let's actually have a look on the Hitachi introduction and also software function. So I'm going to
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the software functions.
Good day. Greeting from Kenya Technology. My name is Jasper, and today I'm going to introduce you the software function of our HITACHI UH5300 double beam UV-Vis spectrophotometer. First of all, this instrument can be either controlled by PC or iPad using the same web-based software. So as what you can see, this is a very user-friendly software, and there are 5 major functions including measurement, method file, data file, basic setting, and also maintenance. So I'm going to show you one by one. When you click measurement, you can see there are actually 6 modes of measurement, and the first one is concentration. So when the end user is planning to find the concentration of unknown samples, they can choose the concentration mode because it's actually a pre-programmed method whereby you need to establish your standard calibration curve by measuring 3 to 5 standard solutions. Once the standard calibration curve is established, you can then measure your sample, and the instrument will tell you your sample concentration based on your standard calibration curve. Then, the second measurement mode is absorbance or transmittance. It's a pretty direct measurement mode. When the end user only want to know the absorbance or transmittance value of their sample at certain wavelength, they can choose this mode. So another advantage of this instrument is it can perform multiple wavelength measurement, up to 6 wavelength. So the third measurement mode is nucleic acid. In this mode, the absorbance of a nucleic acid sample is measured. Then the purity and concentration of nucleic acid, protein, and etc. are computed from the absorbance ratio. So this measurement mode is very good for the end user who is doing biological research. Okay, the following measurement mode is wavelength scan. So in this mode, end user can find out the absorption or transmission spectrum of the sample. The next measurement mode is time scan. This mode is very good for the end user who is doing kinetic study because they can fix the scan time up to 2.5 hours and target wavelength so that they can study how their sample absorbance and transmittance changing throughout the time. The last measurement mode is monitor. Basically in this mode, the Xenon Lamp is constantly on and the photometric value is updated at the interval of 2 seconds and is displayed. So it's very useful when the end user wants to check the real-time photometric value of one wavelength. So next, we are going to return to main menu. So as what you can see here, there are method file and data file. It means you can save your method or data in these 2 folders, and you can retrieve your method and data anytime you want. So now I'm going to show you the maintenance function. So first of all, you can check your lamp usage by clicking here. So as what you can see, the lamp usage now is 0%. So when it reaches 100%, it means that you are required to change a new lamp. So by having this feature, basically it gives you a better idea on when you are going to change the new lamp. Okay? Secondly, you can also do a performance check for your instrument every month to ensure that your instrument is working in good condition. So in this function, you can check the wavelength accuracy at different wavelength. You can also check wavelength repeatability, noise level, baseline flatness, baseline stability, and also hardware check. So if let's say everything is working fine, it will give you an OK signal. So if let's say something goes wrong, it will give you an NG signal, which is not good. Okay? The next function is wavelength initialization. So when your performance check is failed, you can use this function and the instrument will help you to perform a minor internal adjustment. After that, if your performance check is still failed, then you can use the next function, which is wavelength calibration. So if both of these functions still cannot solve your problem, then I will suggest you to give us a call, and our service engineer will help you to solve the problems. So apart from that, the end user also can perform a sample compartment cover check using this function to ensure that your cover is actually working fine. And the last function is actually history. So in this function, actually you can have all the records of your maintenance history. So for example, so this is the installation check that we have conducted. Okay, so everything is fine. Okay, so that's all for my software introduction. For more details, you can check out our website at www.kalia.com.my or drop us an email at enquiry@kalia.com.my. Thank you.
All right, okay, so this is the convenient functions. All right, so intelligent set function. So we can actually cover shutting initiates measurement automatically. So this actually can make sure that you will save a lot of your time. So you every time is just hassle-free, just shut it out and then it will just run straight away. And also you will be having the 6-cell turret there, right? So the total measurement time will be reduced by using the 6-cell holder and above smart function. Okay. And then so the main parts, accessories, which is the options where you already watched from the video just now, just a quick recap, we actually have a lot of accessories to cater for your application and needs. Just let us know. So if you have a small volume, 1.5 microliter, 12, 15 microliter, so we have holder base, single cell holder, microcell, and massive microcell. And in case guys want to measure the long cell, we also have a holder base, a rectangular long path cell holder with a path length of this. And if you want to do any other seekers, you want to do something like very automatically and fast, you will want to wash any of the cuvettes, which we can cater for that. So these are all the specs that we have. And so in terms of the robustness, so something I would like to share that we actually have supplied more than 100 units to the filter or the pump for the plantation alone. So far that, you know, they have been using for more than 10 years. Some have been using 30 years, 40 years for the HITACHI UV-Vis. You know, maybe some of you is like something new that you haven't heard about it before, but HITACHI has been here in Malaysia market for a long time, and we have been serving a lot of customers, and they've been giving us a lot of feedbacks in terms of their business. Okay, so HITACHI is being manufactured in Japan. So all our products has been strictly implemented a very strict quality checks in terms of vibration, you know, in terms of the impact resistance test, the drop test, and also temperature testing. All right. So in terms of this test, we need to ensure that the customers is being very, when they give it in very good hands, and it will can actually help the customer to use it in a very long term. All right. So HITACHI's product is very robust. And then with that, thank you so much, and we'll open the questions to the audience. And if you have any questions, so just let me know. All right.